Hi and welcome back to the channel. So hopefully you watched last week's Scene Bloodplant video. This week I am going to have a look at Willow. So I have now got all 5 of the Scene series and I would highly recommend them. They were in the sale at £17.50, so you could have saved a few quid, but they are only 25 quid, and so you can get all 5 for £125. So I got Saffron with the collector's edition. Probably have tried the Scene series if I hadn't have got it. So I'm glad I did because I really like them, and let's say I've bought all the rest of them. So let's have a quick look at Scene. I'm not going to do the audio demos because this is going to go on quite long because I've kind of done a different overview and sound demo for this. So, but I'll just tell you roughly what it is all about. So this one is Icy Cinematic Textures. We've got 16 samples, as they're all 16 samples. So this one is layered pads, textures, atmospheres, made up of tuned percussion, ethereal choirs and frosted strings. Now this one has a huge amount of pads. So out of the 120, there's 54 pads with this one, which I didn't realize because it doesn't tell you that. It just tells you there's 120 snapshots. So whispers of winter, a shimmer of bells in the frozen air, a distant choir fading into snow, strings like breath against ice. Looks like they've been using ChatGPT again. Scene Willow captures the fragile beauty of winter. Discover a palette of tuned percussion, children's choirs and glacial string textures that dance between wonder and melancholy. So as per usual, you have your XY pad, your macros and your 2 effects. You've got your 16 samples for sound A or sound B, and then you've got your effects there, and let's say you have 2 of them, and you can also randomize these as well. And that is about it, and that is your settings page. So it is very, very simple, but very, very effective, which is why I've bought all of them. They're all 120 snapshots, and they're all about 1.5 gig. And you do need a Kontakt player, which you can get obviously from Complete Start or the full version of Kontakt. Anyway, so that is it. Like I said, I'm not going to play the audio demos because other part of this is going to be quite long. Let's open in Kontakt and have a look at it and have a listen to it. So here we are in Kontakt with Scene Willow opened up. So first off, we'll just run through the bank. So let's say you've got atmospheres, you've got 10, motions, you've got 30, pads 54, and textures 26. So huge amount of pads in this one. And as you can see, I have got Saffron loaded up as well. So Saffron has 19 atmospheres, 42 motions, 39 pads, and 21 textures. So I'm kind of going to use that a Saffron with the pads, and I'm also going to be using the chords as well on some of these just for a bit of a change to the usual kind of review. So 2 samples, A and B, and if you want to change them you can just click in there, and then page 1 you've got the attack, release, motion, mask and tape. And the mod wheel adjusts the vertical, and the touch strip on the S61 adjusts that, but you can do this on page 1 as well. So there's 2 knobs for adjusting that, and they do have a lot of effect, as you can hear. The Y has a lot more effect than the X because it adjusts the motion, mask, and you can see it adjusting all the effects, whereas the X-axis doesn't really do an awful lot. So that is atmospheres. We've got emotions and we've got a glow. We'll play it first. And yeah, as you can see, this is right up, so we can bring this down a wee bit. And you can see there's no motion on. So it maybe, is it actually switched on? Yeah, it's switched on. And then you can click in the settings there so you can have a bit of a fade in. Take the intensity down. And then you've got your effects, trance and double ring. So let's whack some chords on. So we're using airy chords. We'll see what this does, and I'll just switch over to chords so I can see what I'm doing. So you can see there you've got your keys there that you can actually use. So they're all sort of split across the keyboard. And you can see what we're using here. So it tells you the chord up here. And I can still adjust the controls for the Willow. And you can just obviously go in and randomize these or change them to whatever you want. You can see what you're getting there. We've got access of awe is the next chord pattern. Right, we're going to have hold me, so we'll just switch that off and we'll play. So we've got not much effect on the reverb and no attack. So that is hold me, and we'll whack on access of awe and see what that's doing. So we're in D major this time. Right, last but not least, we've got Murmurous. So we're going to play this one with chill. And we'll switch this on, and you can see we are in F sharp G flat. So we'll go back to Willow. So this is very, very good for ambience. In fact, it's one of my favourite ones, this actually, Willow. It is fantastic for some ambient soundscapes. As you can hear. We will go to the pads, because there is a ton of pads. So we'll start off with the first one, and we'll just play this for you. It is called A Bit Intense. So I'm going to use Saffron with some of these, and also the chords as well. Very, very nice indeed. We're going to whack Saffron on emotions we're going to have for this one. And we are in pads. So we're going to pads and emotions. Switch them both on and we'll play Aetherville. So we've got Aetherville with Saffron. Emotions. we can just play a bit of Etherville. Very nice. Buoyancy we've got next with Floating Apart. So we'll right. And I just happened to pick Saffron. I could have used Lotus or Nightshade or whatever, but Saffron I think goes quite well with this. Because it has some kind of darker sounds. Distant Shiver, and what have we got? Glistening. See what that's like. We'll play a bit of Distant Shiver on its own. So you can see the double ring on. Bring that up a bit and take the pads down. Right, we'll bring Saffron in. Up on that. Right, Floater. Unfortunate name. Right. Floater and Mystic Mass. So we're just going to have Willow on this one, and we're going to have Glistening. So there's quite a lot of glistenings in this. And then we're going to put some chords on, and we're going to have Deep House. So let's have a listen to this. Right, so that's glistening. That one. Very nice. We'll switch the chords on. Now we are in D sharp. Does sound very, very good indeed. In space, we've got some space stuff. Here we go. Yeah, we've got Space Deluxe on Saffron, and then we've got some chords as well. We've got the electrolyte chords. So we'll play this first. Some dark clouds and some sandpaper. Right, we'll switch electrolyte on, and we are in G minor, which is probably quite... It does sound absolutely fantastic. This is just some fantastic pads in this thing. Monastery. This is the last of the pads, you'll be glad to know. And Through the Stars. Right, let's see what this is all about. Right, we'll switch it off. We'll mute Saffron, and we'll just hear a bit of Monastery. Right, we'll whack on Through the Stars. Put the dimension up a bit. Grey clouds and put the effects up a bit. Oh no, we've got more. Right, soft air. And the beginning. We'll have a bit of soft air first. Shimmer up. So I do like a bit of shimmer. And emotion. Get the attack down a bit. Right. Let's get the beginning on. Just so good. Wandering Star. And we're going to put this on with some chords, and we are going to play this with Fortitude. And we'll play this before. Right, we'll whack on Fortitude, and we are in B minor. apparently. Aftertouch there. See what's happening. So we've got a bit of tuning and a bit more. Right, that is it for the pads. And last but not least, we have got a couple of textures because this has gone on very, very long indeed. Crushed Heaven, let's play this one. And we're going to play this with some Saffron textures, and we have got Intense Grit. Nostalgic Pipes. And some Silent Wonder. It's just a shame there's no motion like Soundbox. You need to get some vector stuff on this. It would be brilliant. So talking of Soundbox, I think I'm going to do a Soundbox pack with the Scene series and just see how that turns out. So yeah. Last and absolutely least is To Damnation. We're going to sync this up with Tempest. So yeah, this is quite nice. So that is it for today's look at Willow, and this has gone on very, very long indeed. So apologies for that. Thought I'd do something a bit different because I have done, like I said, all 5 of these, and I haven't really done an awful lot with the chords and doing a kind of multi with some of the other scenes. As I said, we'll leave links to all this in the description. You might as well just get all 5 for 125 quid. It is pretty damn good. Thanks for watching, and as usual, if you are enjoying these videos, please remember to like, subscribe, share and comment, and I will see you in the next one.